And right now, let's welcome our first guest, kind of sort of a television star in his own right, and that's Wes Wood, president of Wood Financial Group, a retirement income store located just outside of Nashville. Wes is also the host of the Retirement Income Show, which airs every Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. on News Channel 5 in Nashville. Wes, we feel blessed today to have you gracing us with your presence. Great to have you here.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dave. Always a pleasure to be here.
Hey, Wes, don't forget about me. You're here with me, too.
Oh, and thanks, Jeff, as well. Yes.
Hey, congratulations on your new show in Nashville. That is so awesome. So right out of the gate, I want to start asking some questions, though. Tell me at what age do you think people should start investing for income? What does that transition occur?
Yeah, well, actually, I call it the transitional years. So typically 5 to 10 years away from retirement is a good time. You know, when the kids are out of the house, Social Security is right around the corner. A lot of people make the mistake from taking their savings and converting it to income once they retire, but really need to get it done at least 5 to 10 years before retirement, so you can make sure that the portfolio is now aligned with those goals to generate income. So that's typically what we want to do is during those transitional years.
Sure. And once your clients get involved in investing for income, and they've been doing it for a little bit of time or a little while, how do you transition them from, let's say, being a scorekeeper to being an income scorekeeper? And what I mean by that is the arithmetic rate of return. Folks will look at, oh, geez, where's my account value at? What did I earn this year? How do you overcome those concerns?
Yeah, I mean, really, it's just focusing on income. So once people, make the shift from growth to income, there is somewhat of a learning curve of understanding where their returns are coming from. But clear as day, right there on the investment statement that we use, it shows how much income they're generating. And once people realize that, hey, this is like a piece of rental property, not like raw land. This rental property is generating a return, not in the form of growth, but in the form of interest and dividends or rental income in that analogy there. So really just focusing on, hey, here's how much income this portfolio is now generating. And what's funny is that once people start looking at that, they realize that, hey, the account value is not nearly important as how much money it's actually generating in the form of interest and dividends.
That's a really good point, because if you had a piece of real estate that was vacant and you were hoping that would grow just on the appreciation, is it better to have that as an option or have an actual tenant in there paying you rent? And what are they going to say every time, Wes?
Yeah, well, obviously the tenant in there paying rent.
That's exactly right. So, Dave, that's all I have for him. Do you have anything for him?
Yeah, it's 30 seconds, Wes. What motivated you to become an income specialist and now to work towards your mission of educating through television and radio, pretty much all of Nashville and greater parts of Tennessee, in fact, about why this is so important? What's your motivation?
Well, it started kind of right out of the gate. When I graduated college and with an accounting and finance degree, I started working in this general industry right out of the gate. So that's been now 17, coming on 18 years ago. And if you remember, that would have been 2003, literally at the bottom of the stock market. One thing that I noticed right out of the gate is that I was working with a lot of pretty bullish brokers with some of their retired clients. And, this is the first time they've experienced such a large crash in the market. And they were constantly liquidating the portfolio to give their clients money.
It's the worst. You don't need to have an accounting degree to figure out that's the worst. But yep. So you were, just like a lot of people got stuck in growth because they got in the business in the 80s and 90s. Right. You got stuck in income because you got in during the bursting of the tech bubble. So, Wes, I love it. As usual, it's great to have you on here. We need to call it a wrap here for today. And we're going to take a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what I like to call the financial silent killer. Stay with us. I'm David Scranton. We'll be right back on The Income Generation.